Hello, welcome to my channel, 100 Days with Kajo. Today is day 18 of building our personal constitution. We are in the section of building our routines. We talked over our morning routines, our evening routines, and our birthday anniversary routines, so definitely check out those videos. And of course, throughout those videos, I reiterated that it's important that you include additional routines that you believe are vital for your well-being. And I just wanted to give like really basic, important ones that I think we should all include. In this video, we'll be going over our seasonal reset and reflection routine. This is super important because it is important for us to match our intentions with our body and our environment and what's going on around the world. And it's much easier to reflect over 3 months or 4 months because it's a shorter period of time. Perhaps not too much happened, or maybe a lot happened, versus 12 months where a lot of things get lost, or we forget things, or we're really only focused on what happened the past couple of months. So it's important that we build a routine of resetting and reflecting over small periods of time, so that way at the end of the year when we do our big year reflection, we actually know what happened in each season, quarter, however you want to divide it up. As I mentioned before, each season or quarter kind of defines your mood or what's going on. And I said season or quarter because everyone's life is different, especially when we include like what your work schedule is. So for me, when I was in public accounting, my busiest time was from January through March, because that was our busy season. That's well, that's when a lot of companies have their year end, which is 12/31, and then we do what we have to do. So that time was definitely me focusing on work. Before entering that season, or that quarter, that's what I should say, that quarter, I would reflect on my career goals of like what I wanted to accomplish. If I was aiming for a promotion, what I would have to do, how often I want to like stay a little bit after work. Of course, my workout schedule would change during that time. And then directly after is when things would slow down. I could focus more on resetting my body, relaxing. And in the summer, of course, it's even slower, so it's more time with friends and family and adventure and blah 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 blah. But now that I'm not working, that is a completely different thing. I know this time in my life right now, this is March now, I'm focusing on, as far as, actually no, maybe it's not too different. I am focusing on my career, but it's a lot more slower because I am entering in entrepreneurship and I'm doing a lot of planning. I'm also getting in the mindset of it's already working. Like, I don't have to overexert myself. I just have to trust, do what I believe is necessary, and to really kind of define who I am, where I want to go. And I really needed that time to myself to figure it out, seriously. So I thought it was super important to include this routine, because now I'm in that space where I'm doing a lot of resetting and reflection because I've neglected that for a while. I'd kind of do it sporadically, or it just wasn't as intentional, or it wasn't, I don't want to say as intense, because this doesn't have to be intense, but I wasn't as serious before. And because of that, I like left my job and I was like, okay, I need to rest, I need to reflect, I need to do X, Y, and Z. And I want to make sure that moving forward that I have these routines set in place so that I don't do that again, okay? That I don't just completely uproot my life and just have to do like a major sit down, look down, and like shake it out of me, like get out, figure out, what are you doing? I don't want to do that anymore. I want to feel safe and okay. And that seasonal reset and reflection gives you that time to say, oh my goodness, I hate this. Oh my God, I love this. And you can just shift where your life should go. For simplicity, I'm going to break up our year over our regular seasons: fall, winter, spring, summer. I feel like that's something that we typically do anyways. Okay, so fall. Fall is focused on friends and family, giving, community, and learning. So friends and family, because there's a lot of holidays around that time. That's usually when we have a lot of football games or sports going on, which kind of ties in the community. And as far as giving, again, Thanksgiving, and then we're rolling into Christmas. People are preparing for it. At the end of the season, I typically kind of reflect on how I've interacted with others, how I've given to the community, how active I've been in that regard, and see if I want to do more, if I want to do less. Do I feel left out? Do I feel included? Do I feel happy? Do I feel good in this space? That's typically what you want to reflect on and kind of reset, like, okay, these friendships were not good. And, you know, moving forward, and especially into the winter, when the winter is time for rest, you want to say, you know what? I'm done with those people. I want to definitely take some time to redefine the type of relationships I want with my family, with my friends, This is really a time to just kind of reflect overview of like how people's treated you, how you've treated people, how you've interacted with your community, and all those other things. Now, the winter time, just like the animals, is a time to rest and reset. We're not supposed to be doing too much. We're not supposed to be exerting ourselves. We're not supposed to be necessarily putting in new goals and all these things. It's time for us to relax and to reconnect with our bodies. And this is honestly a lot of me time and a low time because it's cold outside. Nobody wants to go outside. Everyone wants to kind of stay in and do their own thing. We watch movies, we eat a lot more, you know. Typically we gain a little bit more weight during this time, which is fine because we're supposed to. This is our relaxation time, me time, sleepy time, cookies time. And of course, at the end of winter, which is typically the end of the year, we do our annual reflection. Now, I know a lot of people want to do annual reflections like for the spring, but I think it is a good time to at least do something brief. It doesn't have to be as aggressive or as intense as the springtime one, but pretty much you just want to look over your year, and that's why it's super important to like look at your different quarters and how those quarter resets and reflections, and just kind of say what you did good, what you liked, what you disliked, and just keep in mind of things you would possibly want to change. Don't change it yet because it's still winter. You still want to rest, but I think it's a good idea to at least implant the goals and ideas in your mind. Let them kind of sit, let them simmer, because over time you're probably thinking of ideas of how you want to incorporate it, but you don't incorporate it yet. You just want to have that thinking wheel rolling already, so when it's time to actually write down your goals and to put it into action and implement it, that it's already all in your mind. But this is a time for you. This is a time for rest. This is a time for loving yourself even more, especially when it's cold outside, especially when we're a bit more isolated. I know during the fall and winter, I kind of experience like a semi-seasonal depression. I get really sad or I get really in my head. And over the years, I had to learn to, I don't want to say not do that, but to take that and take it as a sign and a signal that, hey, you just need a little bit more love around this time, because I thrive with the sun. So during the winter, it's not a good look for me. It's not a good look. Then of course we have spring. We love spring. Of course we have spring cleaning. Of course we have our goal setting. Of course this is the time where we install and instate those goals and that we had in mind in the winter that we just didn't write down yet, that we didn't do yet because it was a time for rest. But now that we've had that thinking wheel going, that during the spring we can actually sit down, write down our goals, figure out what we want to do. And then of course writing down your goals you want to do before the spring, or like maybe in the very beginning, because I know the other ones I've done, I typically had a reflection at the end of those seasons. Like for fall, like reflect on community and friends and family, how you want to change it, what you want to add, blah blah blah. In the winter, of course, you're resetting, rest, have the goals in mind. But of course you can just redefine what that means for you if you want to do that in the beginning, and then have set that intention for the rest of that season. So like in the beginning of like fall or winter, let's say fall, you're like, you know what, I want to hang out with friends and family. So you say once a week I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And of course you do that. And then at the end of it, you reflect. This, you guys, this is all for you. You can define it. Don't take what I say as law. They're just suggestions. But back to the spring, of course. So in the beginning of spring, of course, you want to have your goal setting. You want a vision board. You want to talk with others and see, I don't want to say like get ideas from them, but I think it is good to have your ideas and your passion and your excitement for the new year, for a new you, to be like circulated between friends, of people you love and trust. You don't always have to do this, but I know when I feel that I'm ready to share it, that when I share it with my friends, they only encourage me and ignite it in me and make me even more excited to do something for myself. And then it sparks another I don't want to say another interest, but another way for me to even improve even more, to make it more accessible for me every day. Because you know what my thing up there says, if you want to create a habit, make it easy to access. Maybe they give me an idea like, oh, well, maybe you should do this because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Now I can implement it, and it doesn't feel like so much work, but it's more just natural and just ease, and I'm just doing it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm talking a lot. And of course you want to clean, you want to get rid of any clothes, any people, any places that you want to get rid of. I'm in that space right now. So we are slowly entering spring. It's only March, or I don't know when you guys are seeing this video. Anywho, but I'm in that season where I am cleaning out my life. I'm figuring out where I'm going to go, who I want to be around, all the other things. And again, I've been doing that since the winter because I love my job and it was very, 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 very necessary for me to do that. But I am looking at my life and saying, okay, I don't like these things about me, and not in a you need to change right now and I hate you type of way. No, 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 no. It's more like, okay, these are hindering opportunities and people and goals and aspirations that I have because I have this limiting belief or whatever, and I'm actively working towards I almost said rectifying it. Was that the right word? Fixing it. Let's just choose the easy word. Fixing it, right? And I'm looking at my closet. I'm like, you know what? This doesn't match my style anymore. I no longer kind of align with that. Like this top, I like the top part of it, and it definitely like fits my style. I like that asymmetrical, and I love white, but I'll definitely return it because it's kind of big. The top looks fine, but the bottom looks funky. But I was like, you know what? I'll let it have its purpose for one time. But like redefining and like figuring out my style, cleaning my space, cleaning my phone, like old photos, and cleaning out my emails and my computer. Like you don't want junk from last year or your past season to still be there. You need to just clean it up because I promise you, you cannot think, you cannot feel, you cannot live abundantly in a messy, cluttered space, or at least in a space that you don't want to be in. So definitely clean internally, externally, digitally, all of it. And of course, like I said, we're going to be installing, instating those goals that we had in mind. And of course, you want to stretch it out over the year. If you know that it will only take you X amount of time, of course, create SMART goals of like how you could complete it and accomplish it. But the springtime is just setting it out, putting it there, and the rest of the year is you seeing it play out. Now, of course, you can incorporate what you want for the fall and the winter, like I said, also the summer, which we'll go over. But for each season, what your goal is. And then, of course, at the end of those seasons, you reflect. But again, please, please, please make it fit your life and your needs. I'm just telling you a suggestion. I'm not completely sure if I'm going to do a winter, fall, summer type of reset and reflection because my life is changing. There are things coming up in my life and I may have to reorganize how I'm going to do it again. So even though I'm going to put this in my personal constitution for now, it could very much change depending on like what's going on, which I have a lot going on. I'm just waiting for it to come in. But again, in your personal constitution, you just have to change it according to your life and your needs. If you want to instill confidence and reassurance in yourself while creating your personal constitution, follow my channel of Firmly Active Affirmations, where you'll find affirmations, EFT tapping, guided yoga, and so much more. For soundscapes such as brown noise, rain sounds, and even TV static, to sleep, study, and meditate too, follow my channel of Firmly Sounds. And of course, we have the summer. We have adventure, we have self-discovery, we have self-exploration. Typically around this time is when people want to go out, when there's a lot of festivities, when it's warm and we're up with the sun. And again, back to the winter, the reason we're so tired is because it's darker outside and our bodies match the sun and like all the other animals. And then during the summer, there's so much more sunlight. And I literally wake up even before the sun sometimes, or with the sun, and I go to bed when it's late, sometimes not even when it's dark. Sometimes I'm up for hours and hours and hours just having a good time and having fun with friends and traveling. This is a time where we usually do the most of our activities. So you want to make sure that you plan accordingly for it. You want to make sure you do things that if you were to die, you'd be proud to say, like, I got to try that. I got to go there. I got to do X, Y, and Z. I know for me, this summer, me and my family are planning to go to Uganda, which I'm super excited. I get to finally meet family members that I've never met before, that we've only like truly lived in our phones for years because we never got to go back. And this is finally the summer where I get to see them. We're going to be there, I think, for a month. And I'm just super excited. And I am blocking off that time to really be present and there and to explore and see as much as I can, because I don't know how often I'll go back. I don't know the next time I'll go back. I don't know the next time I'll see them. And I want to make sure I treasure that moment because you never know what's going to happen. And when I had my full-time job, before I quit in January, this was kind of in my mind, like, okay, do I just leave and then try to find a job when I come back? Because you guys, I'm telling you, I have not been back. Oh my goodness, ever. And it's like, am I really gonna let a job stop me from seeing family? Am I really gonna let a job stop me from having this experience? Because the second that that job doesn't want me anymore, they would drop me. So I'm like, I I recognize that my priority was kind of skewed for me to even be considering or thinking about a job. Especially, okay, let me put that caveat. I don't really have bills to pay. I live with my parents right now. I'm in school. I have about 2 more classes left. And I was like, am I really going to let this job or these obligations stop me from seeing family, especially when I have more time and more flexibility to drop them than I ever will probably later in my life. You know, like imagine if I'm like 45 years old and I have X amount of properties I need to handle, and I have this and that, and I have this project that I'm overseeing, and people are depending on me. It's a lot different than a 24-year-old who's still figuring out, who's in school, who's living with their parents. Like, it's different. It's different. So I had to be like, yo, I do not need to be a stickler. I don't, oof. I do not need to be scared and have like these limiting beliefs and like to already push myself into a wall or stuck at home or stuck at work. Like, I have the rest of my life to do that. I mean, I don't want to, but I have the rest of my life. I'm young, right? So I was able to kind of see that and be like, no, I am going to take that time to do what I need to do, to go where I need to go, to see the people that I love, and to actually finally interact with them face to face. I don't know when the last time my dad saw his brother in person. So it's like, yes, we are going to go, and this is going to be the year. So for you, definitely redefine or define what your goal is for the summer. Who do you want to visit? Where you want to go? What culture do you want to immerse yourself in? Like, do you want to reconnect with family? Like, what does that look for you? It is super important to do that in the summertime. I mean, you can do it, I guess, whenever it fits your schedule, but I do recognize a lot of people do that during the summer. So just kind of write out what you want to do in regards to that. And of course, at the end of each season or at the end of each quarter, I want you guys to take 15 to 20 minutes to really sit down and reflect and to reset and to really ask yourself, what have I accomplished? What could I have done better? First thing you want to do, of course, is create a calm space, somewhere relaxing. If it's either outdoors, maybe you want to do this while you're walking and talking to yourself. Maybe you want to do it in your room. Maybe you want to do morning, evening, however you want to do it. Just create a calm space for you to have that time. And again, what did you accomplish? What are you proud of? What are you excited about that like brought something back into your life? I know for me, one of the accomplishments that I had was that I let go of a lot of limiting beliefs, or I let go of certain things that were holding me back, and I was able to kind of step into the things that I like and to start a business that I never would have thought of, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And like, that's something that I'm really, really proud of, and it happened during, I think, what was it, November? But I'm, of course, like, things are rolling. Super excited about. The one things that I wish I could change or do better was honestly like trusting my gut sooner and listening to my intuition. And I've been practicing and like building that practice into my everyday life of like feeling and acknowledging how I feel and acting on it. But I wasn't doing that before, and that's one thing I definitely hope to get rid of. But you definitely want to just have those moments of time to ask yourself, like, what did I do good? What could I do better? And to move on from that, because you don't want it to linger in your mind, or you also don't want to forget about all of the good you've done, because we also get into a habit of just accomplishing, and then not even celebrating ourselves, and then we feel like we didn't do anything with our lives, and then people around us are like, first of all, you did ABC, XYZ, LMNOP. What are you talking about? Like, you did so much. You're like, wow, I guess I did. You just didn't take the time to acknowledge it, right? That is all. Again, please, please, please figure out what your year looks like and break it up into however you want. If it's like, if your year is like broken up into different 7 weeks, do that. If your year is broken up by month, do that. Quarter, do that. Season, do that. Is it just 6 months, do that. Whatever fits your life the best, and make sure each quarter or season or part of that year has its goals, has its mood, has its purpose. And at the end of each of those seasons, of course, reflect, reset, celebrate yourself, write down what you could do better and small ways of how you can improve it for your next season. And this will make your life so much better, so much more organized, and you will feel like you have a grasp about who you are and what you want and where you're going. I think that too many of us are just frailing around in life and having no direction, and this gives us somewhat of a direction. Again, with our morning or evening and our birthday anniversary routines, add as many routines in this section as you deem necessary. It is your life, and whatever you want to make sure you include routines that give you that stability, so that and we're going to talk about this in our next section, when big life changes happen, that you have these things to ground you. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.